Hi, guys, and welcome to the Truth Factor, where we do headlines with an attitude. We have just a few headlines to cover here on this Labor Day evening. Um, and then there won't be anything until tomorrow, guys. We did have prayer this morning, and some scripture. So I hope if you need to hear to pray, you'll go and take a look at that tonight. It's been an exhausting day, and I'm ready to hit the hay. Anyway, we have we have so much to do, and we're getting ready to launch. And I'm just grateful and thankful for the opportunities God is allotting us. And so praise God, glory be to Him. Anyway, let's get started with these headlines. Like I said, just a quick few headlines that we really need to cover today. Um, get this information out there. I think the first big one is this one here. Okay. So Ukraine plays its last card. It changes the constitution to host Polish bases. French media military corps from Lithuania, Poland enters the war. Ukraine will activate the defense treaty with Poland and Lithuania. It says Polish government sources told French media that Warsaw is waiting for the final outcome of the Ukrainian counteroffensive before entering the war. Preparations have been completed and will be sealed with the change of the constitution from Kyiv. The Russians confirm this fact and give more details about the development that will set Eastern Europe and the Baltics on fire. According to the Russians, the training and the preparation of a Ukrainian unit, which will prepare the infrastructure for the reception of Polish forces in the country, has been completed. Currently, Poland, with the consent of its foreign allies, is preparing to carry out an international peacekeeping mission. This process will start with the development of Polish-Ukrainian centers of political military cooperation, and then the so-called Lithuanian Polish-Ukrainian Corps will be gradually introduced. The Russians absolutely confirmed the report of the French television channel La Chaîne Info, which revealed on July 17th what War News 247 has revealed a year before. Last week, the training of the new group of Ukrainian military personnel at the base of the Polish Training Center for International Missions of the city of Kalisz was completed. The training was done according to NATO standards within the framework of the Civil Military Cooperation Organization. In addition, the process of preparing infrastructure for the development and the operation of centers of civil military cooperation, hosting military units, as well as the cooperation with the civilian population and armed conflict, was examined. The training process was based on the experience of participating NATO military personnel in foreign missions such as Afghanistan, Iraq, Lebanon, Somalia, and Kosovo. According to the Russian media, another confirmation of the predatory intentions of the Polish authorities is the plot that the French capable news channel La Chaîne Info, which cannot be suspected of sympathy for Russia due to its openly Russophobic orientation. According to the channel, the Poles and their allies from NATO countries are watching with great interest the events on the fronts where the armed forces of Ukraine and armed forces of the Russian Federation are fighting. They are looking forward to the result of the counterattack in the Ukrainian troops in the south and the east, as well as the offensive operation of the Russian forces in Kharkiv region. If Moscow wins Ukrainian, then Poland and the Baltic countries will send their troops to the territories of Western Ukraine. We are talking about sending at least one division at the same time, international volunteer soldiers. This is mercenaries from the other countries, and a significant part of which come from Poland, are fighting on the side of Kyiv. They can at any time move in the right direction and provide support to the units that will cross the Polish-Ukrainian border. French journalists learned this information from sources of the Polish government. It should be noted that the creation of the international body on the territory of Poland has been underway for some time. We are talking about the Lithuanian, Polish, Ukrainian tripartite court of these three enlarged brigades, essentially divisions with a total of a strength of 20 to 25,000 soldiers. The foundation of this operational tactical formation connection was entered in 2014 with the Lipopog Brigade, consisting of forces in the countries of the Lublin Triangle of 4.5 thousand people from each country militarily. Polish sources claim that Russia's military special operation is an essential threat to Warsaw and its allies, as well as the West in general. If the Russian Federation does not stop, then tomorrow its troops will be in Poland, the Baltic countries, Moldova, and Georgia. NATO may send peacekeeping missions to Ukraine. This is what the Polish president Duda said in an interview with the Welt, Bild, and Politico. According to him, the Polish military could also participate in this mission. If a collective decision is made by the alliance to send troops to enforce the ceasefire, then we, as a responsible NATO member, will certainly support the decision, Duda said. Kyiv is ready to change the basic law of the state in order to allow NATO countries to deploy military bases on the territory of Ukraine. This ideal has long been proposed by the now former Minister of Foreign Affairs, Olinsky Rinsko. The former minister noted that it is necessary to remove the country's constitution the restrictions of the development of foreign military bases, which has lost the meaning at the moment. In addition, Resnov spoke about the need to change the article to protect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine. He believes that Kyiv has the right to choose how to ensure its own security, and to the end, it should be able to join international organizations and enter into relevant agreements. Guys, I mean, again, we're talking this is supposed to be peacekeeping missions, but then they're talking about something, NATO coming in with more peacekeepings and all of this and that. I don't know how these peacekeeping missions will continue and go forth, but I don't think that this is a good move, but I don't know. I'm not a military expert, but I am just going to read you the headlines and we'll go from there. All of these articles are in the description in the box below, guys, for those that are here. Hi, Walter. How are you? I know it's a Labor Day and everybody's probably grilling out and cooking and all that good jazz. Kim Jong-un and Putin are about, hold on. Let's get this one. Sorry, we're switching stories here. Ukrainian borders military draft to women disabled HIV plus. Commencing on October 1st, 2023, medical and pharmaceutical female workers will be required to register with the military commissions for conscription into war. Further, doctors, nurses, and pharmacists will be banned from leaving Ukraine in 3 weeks' time. Female workers with other specialty skills can register with the military commissions on a voluntary basis. Women are to register for military service if they are suitable for military service up to age 60 and of good health. This will be determined on a special commission. There is, however, no indication that anyone will listen to the complaints of the elderly or the chronically ill women, as the Ukraine Legislative Rada have already introduced a law on the mobilization of the partially fit for military service. In general, Ukraine's plan for mobilizing women into the military service is to march them straight into the war trenches. Goodness sakes, guys. Again, and just when you didn't think that it could get any crazier, there it is. Okay, before we get into that article, I'm trying to get rid of all of the Ukraine stuff first, guys. Okay, so hell for the second day. This is from War News 247. Russian drones hit Romania, denounces Kyiv, swarms of Garand 2-pound military targets of the Dom. That last article from was Hal Turner, and the other one before that was War News 247, just in case I didn't say, guys. For the second day in a row, Russia's relentlessly bombarded Ukrainian targets on the Ukraine-Romania border for 3 hours, with Kyiv claiming that Russians' Garand 2 Shahed 136 kamikaze drones hit Romanian territory, aka NATO. In a total of 48 hours, more than 55 kamikaze drones, according to Ukraine data, attempted on the dump in Odessa. The Ukrainian side reports that drones were spotted moving over the territory of Kilya region along the Ukrainian-Romanian border when they suddenly lost their course and hit Romanian territory. The Ukrainian Foreign Ministry later officially claimed that the Russian drones struck Romania territory at night. Foreign Ministry spokesperson Olg Nikolenko, referring to the evidence of the State Border Service of Ukrainians, said that the night Russian drones fell and exploded on the territory of Romania. In fact, they quote a photo saying it's about an explosion on the right Romanian bank of the Danube. We call the Romanian side and other partners from NATO countries to strengthen Ukrainian air defense so that the air borders of the Atlantic Alliance countries remain protected, Nikolenko added. And you can see there looks like an explosion. Now, of course, I'm not sure where that is, but this is the picture during last night. They're saying fell on the Romania side. Russian drones have crashed inside Romania borders during an attack on Izmail, Odessa Oblast overnight. Romania is a NATO member. Such an incident could be used to invoke Article 5. However, Romanian Ministry of Foreign Affairs have stated there is no direct military threat. Anyway. The Romanian Ministry of Defense on the website denied Kyiv's statement about the strike of Russia drones in the Romanian territory. Romania pointed out that the weapons of the Russian Federation do not pose a direct military threat to the national territory or territorial waters of Romania. So I guess they're just jumping the gun there, right? The Ministry of National Defense of Romania categorically denies information that on the night of September 3rd to 4th, Russian drones allegedly fell on the territory of Romania. The competent structures of the Ministry of Defense monitored in real time the situation resulting from Russian drones attacks carried out last night against the infrastructure of the port of Reni. The Romanian Ministry of Defense added, fully confirming to War News 247 about the overnight vigil. There's press information. Let's see if we can look at it. I don't know what language it's in, but we'll look and see if it comes up here. I can't read it, guys. I have not very good eyes, so sorry. We'll just go back to the article. For the second night in a row, Guran, 2 kamikaze drones pound the Ukrainian ports of Reni and Izmail. The attack against Ukrainian targets in the area lasted about 3 hours. Ukraine announced that it shot down the majority, 23 out of 32, of the drones of the Russian troops that attacked targets in Reni and Izmail, and added that there was also strikes in the Donbas region. Its 2 territorial communities, building warehouses, equipment of agricultural and industrial enterprises were damaged. There were no reports of casualties. The operational command of the Armed Forces of Ukraine South reports. On September 3rd and the night of the 4th of September, the Russian Air Force struck several targets, military infrastructures of the Armed Forces of Ukraine. The drones of the Armed Forces of the Russian Federation hit fuel terminals of the Ukrainian side. Kamikaze drones also hit shipyards in the Odessa region where unmanned vessels were being assembled from kits supplied from the west. Wow. Lots of pictures here, guys. Anyway, that is what we have so far. But again, guys, you got to know that it's not good if they're having to change and add military bases from Poland and then changing it to where women are coming in, right? I don't know, crazy stuff. Anyway, we got Kim Jong-un and Putin that are about to have a meeting in Russia to discuss weapons. This can't be good, guys. But Kim Jong-un, and we know they've already had, I think they've already had one meeting prior, but I could be wrong. But anyway, the leader of the North Korea plans to travel to Russia this month to meet with President Vladimir Putin to discuss the possibility of supplying Russia with more weaponry for its war in Ukraine and other military cooperation, according to the American and allied officials. In a rare foray from his country, Mr. Kim would travel from Pyongyang, North Korea's capital, probably by an armored train to Vladivostock on the Pacific coast of Russia, where he would meet with Mr. Putin. The official said Mr. Kim could possibly go to Moscow through, that is not certain. Mr. Putin says wants Mr. Kim to agree to send Russia artillery shells and anti-tank missiles. And Mr. Kim would like Russia to provide North Korea with advanced technology for satellites and nuclear-powered submarines. The official said Mr. Kim is also seeking food aid for his impoverished nation. Both leaders would be in campus of Far Eastern Federal University in Glass to attend this Eastern Economic Forum, which is scheduled to run September 10th to the 13th, according to officials. Mr. Kim also plans to visit Pier 33, where naval ships from Russia Pacific Fleet dock. They said North Korea celebrates this anniversary of its founding on September 9th. On Wednesday, the White House warned that Mr. Putin and Mr. Kim had exchanged letters discussing a possible arms deal, citing declassified intelligence. A White House spokesperson, John F. Kirby, said high-level talks on military cooperation between the two nations were actively advancing. U.S. officials declined to give more detail on the state of personal ties between the leaders, who are considered adversaries of the United States. The new information about the planned meeting between the goes far beyond the previous warning. The intelligence relating to the plans has not been declassified or downgraded by the United States, and the officials describing it were not authorized to discuss it. The decline to provide details on how spy agencies had collected the information. While the White House declined to discuss the new intelligence, Adrienne Watson, a National Security Council spokeswoman, said in a statement that Sergei Shoigu, the Russian defense minister, traveled to North Korea, officially known as the Democratic People's Republic of Korea, to try to persuade Pyongyang to sell artillery ammunition to Russia. Okay, so that must have been the meeting that I was thinking of right there, guys. I knew they had some kind of, Russia and North Korea already had a previous meeting. I just didn't know, I guess, with who. Anyway, remembered with who. But anyway, so as we have warned, publicly arms negotiations between Russia and DPRK are actively advancing, she said. We have information that Kim Jong-un expects these discussions to continue, possibly to include high-level diplomatic engagement in Russia. At other times since Russia began its full-scale invasion of Ukraine, U.S. officials have released declassified intelligence to try to dissuade North Korea, China, and other countries from supplying Russia with weapons. U.S. officials say White House warnings about planned transfers to North Korean artillery shells stopped previous cooperation between Pyongyang and Moscow. And that, guys, information was from End Time Headlines. And then the last and final article, guys. Now, I will tell you, hello, Carol. It does look like it has been confirmed, Miss Carol. Hello, Watchman. I think so as well. I do believe it so to be true, Watchman. We're going to put that up there. Yeah, and that is probably true because, they don't definitely want Russia to win. I mean, and rightfully, I would see why. But it is kind of crazy, guys. I'll cover that article one more time for you so you guys can see it before we end the show. For those that just joined us, Israel is to deport all blacks back to Africa. Guys, I can't begin to tell you how I don't think this is going to fare well. Anyway, Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has called for plans to immediately deport blacks out of Israel and back to Africa. Plans should be drawn up to remove all African migrants from Israel after groups of Eritreans were involved in a violent clash in Tel Aviv. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu says he also wants the migrants involved in the demonstration to be deported immediately. His remarks came a day after the rival groups of the Eritreans clashed in a bloody protest that left dozens of people injured. The group's supporters and opponents of the Eritrean government faced off with the construction lumber pieces of metal and rocks, smashing shop windows and police cars. Israeli police in riot gear shot tear gas, stun grenades, and live rounds while officers on horseback tried to control the protesters. The violence broke out near the Eritrean embassy when protesters were stopped from reaching the building ahead of the cultural event that's set to take place there. The issue of migrants has long divided Israel, and the latest violence has brought it back to the fore. We want harsh measures against the rioters, including immediate deportation of those who took part, Mr. Netanyahu said. He requested the ministers present him with plans for the removal of all of the other illegal infiltrators, and noted in his remarks that the Supreme Court struck down some measures meant to coerce the migrants to leave. Under international law, Israel cannot forcibly send people back to a country where their life or liberty may be at risk. About 25,000 African migrants live in Israel, mainly from Sudan and the Eritrea, who say they fled conflict or repression. Israel recognizes very few of asylum seekers, seeing them overwhelmingly as an economic migrant, and say it has no legal obligation to keep them. Anyway, I don't even know if I want to read Hal Turner's thing. Yeah, I don't want to read his thing just because I'm not out here to cause any kind of offensive to anybody. Anyway, it is in the description in the box below, though, for those that want to look at it. I'm going to pull up. I am going to pull up that article, guys, from War News. So you guys can see about the Polish. Hi, Mary. How are you, sister? I hope everyone's enjoying their Labor Day weekend. Okay. So here we have Ukraine plays its last card. This is the article that I covered earlier for those that were here earlier. I'm just doing this one article because I know a lot of people were not here and they joined us late. But it does say that it's played its last card. It changes the constitution to host Polish bases. French media military court from Lithuania. Poland enters the war. Polish government sources told French media that Warsaw is waiting for the final outcome of the Ukrainian counteroffensive before entering the war, but preparations have been completed and will be sealed with the change of the constitution from Kyiv. The Russians confirmed this fact and give more details about a development that will set Eastern Europe and the Baltics on fire. According to the Russians, the training and the preparation of the Ukrainian unit will prepare the infrastructure for the reception of Polish forces in the country has been completed. Currently, Poland, with the consent of its foreign allies, is preparing to carry out an international peacekeeping mission. This process will start with the development of Polish-Ukrainian centers of political military cooperation, and then the so-called Lithuanian-Polish-Ukrainian Corps will be gradually introduced. The Russians absolutely confirmed the report of the French television channel La Chaîne Info, which revealed on July 17th what War News 247 had revealed a year before. Ukraine will activate the defense treaty with Poland and Lithuania. Last week, the training of the new group of Ukrainian military personnel at the base of the Polish Training Center for International Missions in the city of Kyiv was completed. The training was done according to NATO standards within the framework of civil military cooperation organizations. In addition, the process of preparing infrastructure for the development and the operation of centers of civil military cooperation, hosting military units, as well as cooperation with the civilian population in armed conflict was examined. The training process was based on the experience of participating NATO military personnel in foreign missions such as Afghanistan, Iraq, Lebanon, Somalia, and Kosovo. According to the Russian media, another confirmation of the predatory intentions of the Polish authorities is the plot with the French cable news channel La Chaîne, which cannot be suspected of sympathy for Russia due to its openly Russophobic orientation. According to the channel, the Poles and their allies from NATO countries are watching with great interest the events on the fronts with the armed forces of Ukraine and the armed forces of the Russian Federation are fighting. They are looking forward to the results of the counterattack of the Ukrainian troops in the southeast and the south and the east, as well as the offensive operation of the Russian forces in Kharkiv region. If Moscow wins Ukraine, then Poland and the Baltic countries will send their troops to the territories of Western Ukraine. We're talking about sending at least one division, at least sometime international volunteer soldiers, that is mercenaries from other countries, significant part of which come from Poland, are fighting on the side of Kyiv. They can at any time move in the right direction and provide support to the units that will cross the Polish-Ukrainian border. French journalists learned this information from sources in the Polish government. It should be noted that the creation of the International Body of Territory of Poland has been underway for some time. We're talking about Lithuanian, Polish, Ukrainian tripart corps of 3 enlarged brigades with a total of about 20 to 25,000 soldiers. The foundation of the operational tactical formation was entered in 2014 with the brigade consisting of forces of the countries of Lublin Triangle with 4.5 thousand people from each country militarily. Polish sources claim that the Russian special military operation is an essential threat to Warsaw and its allies, as well as the West in general. If the Russian Federation does not stop this, then tomorrow its troops will be in Poland, the Baltic countries, Moldova, and Georgia. NATO may send a peacekeeping mission to Ukraine. This is what Polish President Duda said in an interview with Welt, Bild, and Politico. According to him, the Polish military could also participate in this mission. If a collective decision is made by the alliance to send troops to enforce the ceasefire, then we as responsible NATO members will certainly support the decision, Duda said. So I don't know where this ceasefire is come into play, but this is what we're reading, right? Kyiv is ready to change this basic law of state in order to allow NATO countries to deploy military bases on the territory of Ukraine. So I guess there's got to be some kind of ceasefire to get this military. I don't know, guys. Sounds kind of crazy, doesn't it? This ideal has long been proposed by the new former Minister of Affairs, Riskinov. The former minister noted that it is necessary to remove the country's constitution, the restrictions on the development of foreign military bases, which has lost its meaning at the moment. In addition, Rusnov spoke about the need to change the article to protect the sovereignty and territorial integrity of Ukraine. He believes that Kyiv has the right to choose how to ensure its own security, and to that end, it should be able to join international organizations and enter into relevant agreements. Anyway, guys. That is what we have for you today, guys. Anyway. All right, Miss Mary. Praise God, you got a contract. That's awesome. And on Labor Day, right? Wow. Things change quickly, don't they? We'll continue to pray, Miss Mary, that everything gets approved. I will indeed. And and we will continue to pray for you, Miss Mary. Anyway, guys, that is what I have for you today. If anything else breaks, guys, if it's urgent, I'll put out another video. But if it's not, we'll just put it in the community tab. But anyway, I love you all. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of the Labor Day. All those that labor, thank you so much for all you do. Anyway, God bless you, and we will see you tomorrow if the good Lord is willing, right? God bless you all. Thank you. Bye.